Here. So I want you to think now, completely, you know, the form puts the finger down. How's that? It's that simple. Okay, and then I want no pushing, right? You're just resting, there's nothing, there's no more. That's it. And then you just don't look there, look here. Turn and just go. How's that? Without working, let the form put the key down. No, but take the plane. How's that?
Yeah, I felt it's playing. The forearm is playing it.
Yeah, is it easier?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. And feel that the fifth finger, play the fourth again. Right. You see where the fifth is? It's in a good place.
Yeah.
Okay, when you get there, your fifth is still a tiny bit isolated. So just feel when you feel, okay, so the way maybe to think when you go to the fourth, you're going to the fourth, but you're also feeling the three and the five with it, as if they're together. Yeah, yeah. It's always all the fingers. Yeah, and just feel that they go together. It's a little bit curved.
Yeah.
Again, record because it's a little bit by itself. That's why I said I want you to feel that you're turning from the fifth side. Yeah, no, go from the two and just think about the fifth side turning. Right. Yeah. Just put it. Give it a little place where it should be so it doesn't stretch. But your release is a little bit late. Another thing, sorry about all these details, but I have to do them. Play the fourth finger. Okay, no sliding. I think you play, maybe you went from too curled,
yeah,
a little bit too flat, because that happens.
Yeah, I think you're right about that actually.
Yeah, people sometimes
then,
come from this,
absolutely,
and then not too curl becomes a little bit a flat.
Yeah.
So we make a distinction between curled, which is not good, and curved. Curved is how the fingers are, that's how they move. Okay, so So when you play it, I think you're a little bit too flat, tiny bit, a little bit more in the center here, yeah. How's that?
Yeah, that's a different...
That's a different feeling, and the third finger a little bit closer. Do it again. How's that?
Actually, it's another feeling, I'm a little bit here usually on the keys.
I know.
That's actually...
That's stretching. And that weakens the finger that you're on. It's not only the isolation, but if the other fingers are a little bit open, the fourth finger will, or any finger will still weak. So you see where you are?
Actually, it feels a lot like I want to do that.
I know. How's that? So you asked about dropping on one finger.
Yeah.
That's, wait, we're still doing it. Do it again. How's that?
Better.
Okay, wherever you feel right, that's where you have to be all the time. How's that? Okay, so what the rotation does is really...
Yeah,
used to stretching, yeah. So it's going to be that close, it's going to be that close, yeah. Okay, so what the rotation does, it connects you from one finger to the next. Gets you there because we can't just drop. We drop to give people the initial feeling of what it's like to feel, you know, connected and strong on each finger, but then the rotation has to get you there. But it has to get you there like that. We'll be changing it. Do it again. Do the fourth again. Okay, you have to memorize the look and the feel.
This is interesting. Completely new.
Completely new feeling.
New feeling, yeah. But I can feel it is the right way.
Well, does it feel strong?
Absolutely, it feels really strong.
So that's how you get the fingers to feel equal. You don't get them equal by isolating them because they would feel that much more unequal because the fourth and the fifth can isolate as well as the other fingers. They're completely isolated from any support system, and that's what makes them weak. And then we do exercises to strengthen them, and they get weaker. So I really put it in people's thinking that weakness means a lack of connection. Now, lack of connection can be obvious, and sometimes it can be so tiny. You know, when people already worked, I always check, because the 10 fingers, it was the first thing when I went to Taubman. I said, I wasn't aware of weak fourth finger. I didn't do the exercises, I was too lazy. But I didn't do the exercises, so I survived that.
Yeah.
But she said the first thing is you have, you know, I'm going to make you feel that you have 10 equal fingers, you know. And that's what makes them equal. Yeah, that they're connected the same way. So some kind, it's like electricity. There's something is not connected, you don't have electricity. It's the same thing here. There's no energy. There's no energy, of course. So I wanted to do it on the fifth finger also. Just try it so so that it learns to be also part of the whole mechanism.
But it's supposed to be like this
No.
or like this? Or?
It's not neither. You see the hand slopes a little bit here. So when you play the fifth, it's going to look a little bit like it should be where it feels that it's connected. How's that?
That's good.
And the fourth is going to be a little bit closer. Right now it's going to be very close. Yeah, do it again. How's that? Is that stronger?
Feels much more like a unit actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm only coming with
In
one.
the end, it will not necessarily look like that. When you train and you have the rotation, it may look a little bit more open, but actually that's what's underneath. Yeah.
It feels like one thing actually.
It feels like one thing.
Obviously I'm very close here, but
Yeah. How's that? And then it can feel connected to the forearm, because if you think forearm, the fingers are a little bit separated. That doesn't mean he's playing the fourth finger. The fourth finger is very close, but it's not playing. Yeah, it's like that. If we are like that in the air and we put the key down, that's where the fourth finger is letting go. Yeah.
it's quite amazing. It's,
And you can hear that, without trying, the sound also changes.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so can you now be brave?
I'm ready, but if it helps.
Go from here. What I would suggest is to get a little time, maybe half hour, you don't need much, to practice this.
Yeah.
Between. You'll talk to, Jorge.
Jorge, yeah.
And set up a
I will
time.
explain on the
Half
break.
hour, you don't need a lot. There's not
Is
a
it
lot of
something I
practice.
could practice alone? I mean, it's a...
Exactly. So that when you come back, just, okay, let's try it again.
The fifth.
Let's try to go now from the 2 to the 5th, because it gives you a little bit
Okay.
more space to move. Remember what you're just saying from step 1. When you do that 2, yeah. You may have to think a little bit higher than you did before. How's that?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. And make sure your finger feels that it's stretching. In other words, sometimes, I know the secret. You have to realize it. So when you're going to think, you're going to
The
the
same.
5, the 5 is just a little bit there, okay? So the 5 is not there. You're going to have a movement that's going to get you there.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
That's a new thing. Look here. But I want you to feel that the forearm got you there and put the key down right now because your finger is doing it. Not too much. Do it again. Don't plan. When it gets there, the finger plays last. When the arm gets there, it will get there. Let's say we're doing something not right. Do it again. Everything turns from here. Yeah. But don't lift the fingers so much. To the side, right. It's not up, it's just to the side. And check again the thumb, where the thumb is doing. Make sure the thumb is just, the thumb is the right hand. Okay, just turn. But your thumb the thumb is tight.
It's tight, yeah.
Yeah. How's that?
That was better.
Yeah, so if you're doing all of these things and the thumb is a little bit like that, it's not going to work. I hate to tell you. So there is such a thing, it has to be perfect at that level. When I say perfect, it's not like a perfect look. It just has to be perfect in a sense that there's no finger doing what it shouldn't be doing, like stretching, isolating, dropping, whatever.
But is it like whenever a key you play, for me now at least, now I'm closer than
Yes.
what I should in a way be?
No, that's the feeling that you're going to maintain. Don't worry that it will look like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it has to be like that, and the thumb has to feel part of the hand. Is it feeling part of the hand? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then just turn and make sure that the thumb, sometimes in the preparation, in the turning, the thumb will try to help you. Make sure it does nothing. Just the forearm is turning. Quite good. In other words, just the fingers that you're going to, the remaining fingers move together with the forearm, and the forearm gets you there. You're still doing something. Don't try to move over. Just turn and let the forearm land.
Yeah, that's different.
Move too much. Do it again. Turn freely. Yeah, but I can see the preparatory motion. That's a preparatory. Yeah.
There. That's
Yeah.
different, okay.
Yeah. But you really have to feel it going left to the right. Yeah.
There it goes.
It's like you lift up to go down, but it becomes one motion. 2 directions, one motion. How's that? Really turn. Yeah. You can't go without a preparatory motion. Yeah. Go like that, and let it go. How's that?
was a completely new feeling, in a good way.
Yeah. So that feels free without being relaxed.
Absolutely.
That's right there is the difference. How's that?
Well, for sure I'm not playing like that when I'm playing.
Yeah.
This feels completely different.
Yeah, and make sure, it can be the preparatory motion, it can be small, just make sure that you have it. Because when you go into distances, the preparatory motion is a little bit bigger than if you don't have it, you're still pulling and stretching. Okay, so shall we try? Let's try going from the two. Okay, so remember from the first step. Yeah. Okay, I think that maybe you were a little bit too out.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Do you have that kind of a position away
I've
from
been
it?
wondering that if I'm too much out, and I'm kind of feeling that I'm playing pretty good.
Yeah, so sometimes people come from a position of being out, and sometimes people come from a position of being in.
Mine would be that, not this.
Would be like that. So the thing is, when he's starting already, it's a little bit too out. So that's what I mean by perfect. It has to be where it has to be. You know, it's not a perfect look, but it's just perfect that if the elbow is a little bit out, the upper arm is already holding. Yeah. The rotation is not going to work.
Maybe that's the thing, because I feel there is some limitations with my rotation.
Yeah. So, well, in that direction, people sometimes at the beginning have a little bit, it's a little bit of an issue, and then it's not an issue. But if you're starting already out, so start again, good. And I'm going to ask you this, and this doesn't feel out, right?
No, it doesn't.
And the answer to not being too out is not being in either. It's just being a little bit closer in place where it feels. You always have to go to the intention. The intention is to feel connected, right? Connected together, ready to move. So if we're like that, it doesn't work. If we're like that, of course there are positions as you move down. Yeah, that the arm goes and people say, oh, I've never been there. You know, like that. And the body has to move with you to allow that. And the same in the other direction, you know. So the body plays an important role, but in order to help, you know, the playing mechanism. Yeah. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Are you heard about it?
I think probably heard of everything, but that's...
but the
feeling is a big problem.
Yeah, because of you know, the basics, you know. Okay, so let's start here. You're going to look here right now. You're not pushing anymore, right?
No.
You're going to turn and let the arm do its thing. Okay, how's that?
Yeah, I mean, it feels...
Do it again. Do it again. Good. Feels easy?
Yeah.
Good. Very good. And the fingers feel free. The fingers also have to feel free. It doesn't mean they're dead.
Yeah, it feels that I'm moving a lot less here now. Almost like that.
Yes.
Like this.
You almost feel like the fingers are not moving, but they're moving.
Yeah.
And clearly, without you thinking, they're still playing.
Okay, because I feel maybe I'm moving them too little.
I don't think so.
No, okay. That's what I'm used to.
I know. It feels like not moving them. Yeah. Yeah, there's another way to get the forearm there. Yeah. And then do 2 to 5. Do it again. Well, no, preparatory motion. Yeah, that's the tricky one. You gotta do this to go there. How's that?
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's not big.
It's actually extremely small.
It's extremely small.
I can't do it if I do it very big. But
The big
I've
is
been doing a
only,
little bit like this to try to work it.
well, you know, it's, the big is only if the small doesn't work.
Okay.
And very often at the beginning the small doesn't work, but the whole idea is to make it
So
small.
is this enough?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Make sure the thumb is not tight.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Okay, so you can correct it just when you release the fingers, everything goes together. Yeah. Yeah,
It feels
so,
in a way like I'm just sloppy almost.
yeah, but you're not. You're not sloppy. Yeah, because when it's free, it feels like I'm not working. He's turning very much on the, and I'm going to allow it now because that gives him the feeling of being later on to be nice.
This is very unlimited.
Unlimited. Yeah.
Very good.
And eventually, as we do it, I will make it small. Watch where the fourth finger is. It's not with you. Yeah. That's what together is. Together is this. So wherever you're going, the preparatory motion, in the landing. How's that?
Completely different.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay. Let me just think. Do you want to try? I don't know if it's a good. So, for example, if I was teaching you, regular lesson, I would say this is enough for one session. I know that we only have 2 sessions, and if there's anything in between, I will add you. But so far, it seems like
No problem.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
No.
Edna, would you like to try maybe with the left hand because he has
Yes, I was
dominance.
thinking about it, but I want to see, do you want, so, just to begin to get the feeling, so it's either we try to go from finger to finger or we go to the left hand, to the left side.
What do you think?
How's the left hand? Better than the right hand, or is it?
The interesting part is that I saw, because I probably played more
Most
with
people
so
have,
I
yeah, most people have.
yeah, so I'm less tense sometimes in
Yeah.
this. But definitely these new movements, I didn't do it in the left hand.
Do you want to try it?
We can do that. Sure.
Okay. So something, I will not say anything. From what you learned in the right hand, see what you can do in the left hand, and we'll see what we have to think or add. Yeah, but there's no shaking.
No.
There's no adjusting after. There's no time for that. We're talking about speed. Where can we do play and then shake? Do it again. How's that? Fingers, yeah, that feeling. So wherever they fall. This is why, I train the teachers that from day one, the books for beginners say cover 5 keys. Covering 5 keys is already stretching, and especially to small hands. But even if I just go to play any note, I'm not over 5 keys.
No,
I'm over 4.5. And that makes, in other words, the important thing is not to stretch.
So basically you're moving. You are a little
I'm
bit...
moving, I'm using, if I go fast, you will not see exactly what's happening, but there's never any, I've trained my hands, and that's what, we train people, and they train beginners. From the beginning, you never talk about, you don't hold an apple.
But is it if you didn't do those movements, you play from the 5th to the 4th, then you would kind of not be completely over the 4th finger, you would be a little bit...
You mean if you stretch?
Yeah, if you didn't use the rotation, because I'm a little bit now, the 4th finger is a little bit too much to the left.
Yeah, that's okay right now. It's okay. But let's say if I just start and make it small, I'm still, this motion is what's getting me to the 4. If you're already on the 4 and already stretched, the 5th finger is not going to feel good. And rotation really will not do anything. Rotation is only effective if it's done where those parts, the playing apparatus, what we call the play, is connected. And it has to be timed, it has a timing. For the playing, for the prep, for the going back, how do we land, where are all the fingers. So rotation by itself, I've seen rotation written about, when the wrist is still down, the knuckles are up, and then they smear over it rotation. It usually should make things worse, not better, because you have to be in the right position, to do the rotation, for it to be effective. Otherwise, you're adding another movement on top of things that are not right. Let's try the left hand. So let's see what you can do in the left hand just from what you learn. Right. How's that? Is that okay? It feels in the right place?
It feels a little bit out, but...
Okay, so bring it, so do it again, but don't correct it. If you do something wrong, redo it. Just come down. Yeah, how's that?
Feel a little bit too much tilted.
Yeah, and how about the wrist? Let's come down a little bit higher, let's see what happens. Okay, so if the wrist you see is a little bit down, or once in a while people have read or seen the tape, they come too high, you're not connected in other directions. So again, the correction for something is not to do the opposite. It's maybe going in that direction, but it's doing, fulfilling what is the intention, to feel what does it mean to be unified. It's a word. Being unified, coordinated is at best a word. And there's some people who talk about it, but the wrist looks very much like that, and the form is never talked about. So the word is right. And there are many words that will sound the same, but the meaning, I would like the meaning of it to be understood, what it really means to be unified and coordinated. Coordination is all the parts working together. What does it mean in the feeling of the body to feel together? And like you say, it's another feeling, right? You got closer to it, but now it feels more. Okay, good. So why don't you think again, the form is bringing the feeling. How's that without the third stretching? Come from above. How's that?
It's a little bit tense.
Okay. Now do it. How's that? Better? And look here. Do it now. Okay, so you see, looking there is even better. What the looking does, it freeze it further. We can think it, but very often the thinking doesn't do the whole job. You know? So it's not, I say, it's not a life sentence. It doesn't mean for the rest of your life you have to reform. It's a step. A lot of the things that happen, especially at the beginning, are steps. And then you don't have to look there. But at the beginning, if I say, is it still freer when you look here? Because it's a new feeling. Is it still freer? And the person says yes, I say, keep looking. And when you don't look and it says free, then you don't have to look. Sometimes it takes a few weeks. It's an inner feeling. It's an inner feeling. That's the thing. Much freer when you look. Do it again. Okay, so the correction is, it's a little bit higher, the wrist, just a little bit. The elbow still looks a little bit out, but it's not out, holding out. It's where it is connected. That's the beginning. If it's not like that, the rotation is not going to work. The rotation is useless. And then just turn. Look from here. Don't prepare the fingers. Don't think from the fingers. Keep going. Okay, and play the fourth. Again, it's a little bit too flat. Play the fourth by itself. There you go. The fifth. It's just, yeah, it's tight. The fifth is tight. Yeah, there's nothing to do with it. Just go. Do it again. And check that the thumb is not tight. Years of stretching, even when you bring them together, sometimes the thumb and the fifth are still tight. So just think about it. You don't relax them. Yeah, how's that? Yeah, they just don't do anything. They don't have a job. They're out of a job. Yeah. Do it again. And you see, you hear immediately bigger sound. This is still tight. Yeah. You know, the fifth could also be tight sometimes. When the fourth feels weak, the fifth tightens to hold it. You see, there's a whole mechanism of compensation that goes on when we don't do something right. The compensation, and that's when we get into trouble. That's when there are other muscles that take over, and that's why we can't cure the other muscles that take over, or the neck pain, or whatever. The neck pain could also be from holding out. Yeah. I don't know you enough to know what it is, but we can't fix those things. We have to fix what's causing it, which is what this work is about. You know, what's the basis for the problem? How do we clear that basis so those symptoms are not there? That's what cures the symptoms. The symptoms are only signs. We have a minute, a couple of minutes. Yeah. You want to do that again, and maybe drop on the three. Just get the feeling of the three. What's that? Is this holding out? It's okay.
So it's more or less okay.
Wait. What is more or less?
10, a little bit tense.
Okay, tense. Okay, could you look here and just feel the forearm puts the key down? Yeah, but without shaking. Do it again. And the other fingers, without that fingers stretching. Do it again. A little bit closer. Do it again. Okay, I'll give you another thing. Yeah. If the keys go down, I'm throwing a lot of things at him and at you. But you don't have to remember everything. But if you play a key and the other fingers, let's say the 4 and 5, that key is coming down, it means that there is weight on the non-playing fingers. When there is weight on the non-playing fingers, the finger that you're playing is still going to feel a little weak. Yeah. So they can be there, they don't hold themselves up. Just rest lightly. How's that?
Well, that's better.
Look here.
Yeah, the fingers want to go a little bit down.
They want to go a little bit down, and they're a little bit tight, so they cannot go down. But they can't hold up. Just feel that they touch very lightly. Yeah, give them a place, they touch very lightly, so they feel down, but they're not weighted. And you hear that there's a bigger sound immediately. How's that?
Yeah, I feel I need to work with this.
Yes, you have to think about it, and is this a little bit too far away? Get them a little bit closer and see if it's too crowded. If it's too crowded, it's too close. And your thumb is better. Do the second finger the same way. How's that? Do it from here. How's that? Good. And the elbow feels like it's in the right place. Feels like it's okay. Good. The elbow is very, very delicate because everything is delicate. If you bring something a little bit too in or a little bit too out, the technique is out. You know, that it has to be in a place again. What does it mean to be connected and feeling connected, you know? So it's very, very delicate. Also, the elbow sometimes is out when the wrist is down. There's a kind of a connection sometimes with, you know, wrist like that, and you bring the wrist into the right place, then the elbows can come also to where they need to be. But sometimes you have to think about it. I think I'm going to have to stop. I just want to try your thumb once. Think from here. Yeah, let the other fingers be with you. Right. No weight on those other fingers. How's that?
Yeah, the thumbs feel easier.
The thumb feels easier. Okay. Good. Very good. And,
More or less okay.
and just with the fifth finger, just play by itself. Play the fifth by itself. Make sure that you have a knuckle. Yeah. Do you see when it's more connected, there's more sound without trying? You can see the relationship from the first lesson. Then when things are connected, there's more sound. It's almost like the energy is free to go right into the key.
It almost feels like you have much more power.
Much more power. Beautiful. Okay.
Great. This is next week.